more times than not, if you react this way or handle things this way or work this way, your percentages of being better go higher. That doesn't mean you're going to be perfect, but instead of my average being 250, well, if I work this way and dedicate this many hours and do this, that, and the other, then my average can go up to 300, which, obviously is a big jump. Obviously that's still failing 7 out of 10 times, but my percentage, I gave myself a better chance more times than the next guy. And so, I think having the mix of the two definitely where I've been pretty good, super competitive and wanting to win, but then also thinking about every move, like just basically playing chess. It's exactly what it is.
Well, it speaks to your baseball IQ, which is, I can't find it to be matched.
But never forgetting how hard the game is, how hard it is to hit. And then, and you can layer that in with something else too. If the guy's beat up pretty good, you need to show some empathy, but you can show it in different ways where he doesn't feel weak by you giving it to him. That's why, again, I would use sarcasm or something like that. Or if it's a real moment, you can have empathy and it can be real with them too. It just depends on who you're talking to, who your audience is, and who the player is and how they respond to certain things. For instance, if a guy's in the cage hitting off the machine and he's struggling, but he's a major leaguer and it's a big name, you just ask him, "Are you trying right now?" "I don't think you're trying." And they go, "I am trying." It's like, "Oh, yeah, I know the machine is hard, but you're making it look really hard, like harder than it's supposed to look." And that guy could go out there and get 4 hits and be on Baseball Tonight or on MLB Network and just be like, "Oh, everyone thinks you are so good on the outside. I wish they could see this right now." I'm gonna videotape this session and put it on the MLB Network, and they're like, "Wow, this guy's not good." It's kind of like you're acknowledging how hard it is, but then you're trying to motivate him at the same time, I guess you could say.
The thought process of how to get better every day, even through spring training with journaling, 3 good things that I did and 1 bad thing. And then the next day, focus on the bad thing and write down 3 good things. He goes, because science shows that for every bad thing that you put in your mind, you need to put 3 positives to counter it. And I was like, all right. So after the whole spring training in 2016, I did that. And I ended up having the best year of my career up to that point in 2016. And I've always kind of kept that in the back of my mind. I don't do it full-fledged anymore. Sometimes you have to go back to the drawing board, and that's always in the back of my mind, like, hey, how do I get back to, who I am as a player? And I think it's the mindset of doing little things like flossing so you don't lose your teeth,
I think it goes back to, my answer about the what do I love about baseball so much. And, it's about, being a kid and dreaming. And every kid, when they're dreaming about being a baseball player, every kid, game 7 of the World Series, bases loaded, 3-2, 2 outs, down by 1 or whatever it is. And, it's the moment is there, and it's about, how do I say this in English? Sorry. It's about, embracing the moment. And I do a lot of visualization, and, I put myself in those moments, and I try not to think about anything other than me succeeding. And I even practice sometimes, when I get this big hit tomorrow, whatever it is, the situation, what am I going to do when I get on base? Am I going to act like no big deal? Am I going to be passionate? All these things. And are those little things that, that make it fun for you to like put yourself in that situation. And above all, just picture yourself in those situations succeeding. Failure is not an option in that moment. Of course, we're going to fail more times than the ones that we actually succeed in. But I mean, if you're already thinking about you failing, you're already down 0, you're already down 0-2 in the count. You just gotta put yourself in a position to succeed. And in your head, you're the man. You control your thoughts to a certain degree. And I always try to picture myself in big situations, and it's almost it goes with game planning. I think it goes a little bit with it together. And I mean, I just love it. When you're at home and you feel that crowd going crazy, or when you're on the road and you get that big hit or that big defensive play and the whole stadium goes quiet, it's something special. And it's something that, once it's almost like winning. Once you get a taste of winning, you just can't have enough. And when you have a big moment, you just can't have enough. And you're just looking forward to the next moment and the next moment and the next moment. Oh, baby's crying downstairs.
Of that.
When you start and focus on the heart,
whether it's obviously parent to athlete to child, but coach to athlete to player, player to player, and it's like you start. One of the things that I always learned is, when you get to our level of coaching, it's, do you care about them? Do they know you care about them? Can they trust you? And can you make them better? Is the third one. But it starts with the heart, and it's like when you can start getting people to kind of trust each other, care about each other, then they want to play for one another, and they're more open, and then the wins will be a byproduct, and ultimately have fun. And we're talking about youth right now, and there's a long way from youth baseball or soccer or sports in general to big league baseball.